Hey YouTube, it's Flowy Fan since 2000. I'm back with an all new video. I just want to say first off that last night I went to go see Magic Mike on the opening night, and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. Started off with all of them at the beach talking whatever. We get to see Al C's naked butt. Al C, Joe Manganiello's naked butt. Sorry, I'm still on True Blood. And it was just everything. And then they kind of go back to the room, and you see Channing Tatum's character Mike. He says how he's missed them, how he wants to join them back, and ask them what they're doing in Florida. And they say that Dallas, played by Matthew McConaughey, has left and took the kid and started a new show and abandoned them. I wasn't crazy about that storyline, but I guess they had to write him out in some way. Mike, and then we get this scene where he's doing his welding, and in his garage, and he has all these equipments around, this wood around. He just starts using this jackhammer and this I don't even know what to call it, but he just starts dancing all in the garage, and I was just loving every minute of it. He took a blowtorch, he had on a mask, and he was just nailing things and using his crotch to do the nailing, and I was just loving. He was jumping around, and it was just exciting. The movie theater I could not stop saying, oh my God, and my cheeks were hurting from smiling so hard. And I'm going to continue to go on with the review. We get to see how Joe Manganiello doesn't really know if he can really continue to do his routine. But before that, they go to this nightclub, and it's like a gay club, and there have the gay gal on the drag queen, and I mean the big drag queen. He was just there, and he was just like, amateur night, everybody who's ever wanted to dance, get up there, go on and dance. And gay guys go up there and they start voguing, and Channing Tatum goes up there and vogues, and so do the rest of the guys. And Joe Manganiello comes up there with a boa, or whatever you call it, the fur thing. He's just gyrating and dancing. They're all having a good time, and I was just laughing and cracking. I'm like, oh my God. Channing Tatum goes to pee in a little lake or whatever. He runs into this girl who was doing a documentary on gay guys, and she just tells him how she's a photographer. You could tell that he really likes the girl, and they just kind of have the conversation. She was like, you got to come on the boat. He was like, I know what happens on that boat, and I really don't want to, go that way. And I don't know what happened between him and his girl at that moment, but I thought he was still with the girl from the first movie. Anyway, and they're in the car, and they crashed the truck. They in this truck, kind of like a RV, but not as big. Anyway, they crash the truck, and a big guy who's the MC ends up getting hurt, and they're like, oh my God, we gotta find another MC. We can't do the same old. And after the guy gets in the car accident, they need a new MC, so they end up going to this house where Jada Pinkett is, and she's this mad. They kind of got into some type of beef or whatever, and they split apart, and now he came to her, was just like, I need a new MC, and she doesn't really want to do it, and she kind of tells him, you got to prove yourself. So she gets the microphone and says, ladies and gentlemen, we want to see if Magic Mike still has some magic in that mic. And he's just kind of like, no, I don't want to do it. Everybody behind him like, do it, go ahead. And he doesn't want to do it. And then the black guy goes over, and he starts dancing and gyrating, and it's kind of just like taking the shine from Channing, and he's like, oh no, not me. And so he rips off his shirt and starts hopping around and just giving lap dances to every woman, and oh my God, it was just everything. If you had seen that, if you had been there, it was just, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. He flips the girl upside down in a chair. He goes around the room, just strips down, starts gyrating with every girl. It was just everything. And then, she was just like, okay, all right, I see you still got your thing. He was just like, I'm sorry what happened between us, but I really need your help. She kind of does that little, like, come here. And he's like, oh, crap. And then on the way back, they're going to somebody else's house. And then, Joe Manganiello's just like, who was that? What was that about? He was like, yeah, we used to dance together. We used to know each other. But, when we kind of got messed up when I started working for Dallas. She felt some type of way about it, and we never really kind of squashed the beef, but we did tonight. And then he goes to this woman's house, and they're looking like, oh my goodness, this a trust fund, baby? Like, what is this? What is this about? And then they end up going in his house, and they're looking for her daughters, and she's just looking like, why are you here to see my daughter? He was just like, oh, we're just out on my own business, and we just came here to, we're friends. They're trying not to tell him that they're male strippers, and she's just like, oh, okay. She was like, well, have a seat, have a drink. And they basically come out and say, okay, we're male strippers. And she was like, okay, that makes better sense. Why didn't you just say that from the beginning? And I guess it was kind of awkward for them, but anyway, they just go around and start talking. She talks about how she was married and got married at 17, how she felt like, she knew he was gay, and how, she tells her daughter to play the field and not to just sleep with one man. And she was like, ooh, in my day, I wish I had y'all. And Joe Manganiello's just like, I think it's still your day, ma'am. And I know I missed the part. I missed the part when Joe... I'm sorry, I missed the part. When Joe was feeling like he couldn't really do the dance routine anymore, they gave him a challenge. They said they were at a 7-Eleven store, and they were like, see that girl in there? Go in there and make her smile. He was like, it looked like she never smiled a day in her life. He was like, well, you got to go in there and make her smile. You could do it, Richie. You could do it. So he goes in there. He's a Backstreet Boys fan, and he goes in there, and he basically, the song I Want It That Way comes on in the store. He bends over, and the girl is just on her iPod, like whatever, on her iPhone, and not paying him any attention. Then he's like, okay. Then he goes over to the cooler, grabs the water, and just rips his shirt off and starts sprinkling the water all over his body. And then he starts kind of splashing the water all over him like he's ejaculating. And I'm just like, oh God. Then he starts stripping, taking off his clothes, and then he gets on the floor and start humping the floor. Then he gets up and it's just like, how much for the water and Cheetos? And then she finally smiles, and they're all sad, like, oh my God, yes, you can do it, you can do it. And then they realized that they were just doing, the routines they were doing were just to please Dallas, not routines that they really wanted to do. So they end up going to the stripper-gram, or the stripper-thon, or whatever it is, some stripper convention, in Tampa, Florida. And they end up, meeting Jada Pinkett again. And, oh, I missed something else, too. Alcee ends up giving that woman the best sex of her life. And he says that no woman wanted to come near his crotch, because every time they came near it, it was like too big. They just wanted to give him a hand job, a blow job. They didn't want to sleep with him. But that woman, they was like, well, you got to find, it's like Cinderella. You got to find the glass slipper. And, she feels on him. She's like, oh my God. She feels that he is just rock hard. They end up sleeping together, and she gives him her car. So I don't care what you do, how you bring it back, but here it is. And I'm just like, wow, he must have rocked her world. And they end up kissing. And back to where I was going, they're going to this stripper convention, and they want to compete. And they end up meeting up with Jada Pinkett. They have this hotel room. And you find out that this girl who is in charge of the stripper convention basically says that I don't have a spot for you. You're not hot. You haven't been stripping in 3 years. And, basically when she sees Jada Pinkett, we get to see this lesbian action. And they find out that, they used to date or whatever. They knew each other. And, she's just like, okay, you with him. You with her now. Now I got a place for you. And then they start getting ready for their performance. And Richie wants to do this marriage proposal thing, and Tito, he wants to do The one where he's like delivering ice cream and yogurt, and Channing Tatum, he just does his own thing. He freestyling them, but the other big guy, he wants to like do a painting, and the other guy, Matt Bromer, he wants to sing, and who knew he could sing like that? So they end up being a part of the show, and it's just, oh God. And they just, first they come on with the big guy. I don't know his name, but he does this routine, this black girl, and it was just like I keep saying, it was everything to see this dance routine. And he kind of put the glitter on the canvas, and it looked just like her, and I was just like, wow. And then they showed, who did they show next? Oh, I think it was Tito, who was Adam Rodriguez from CSI Miami. They show him, and he has his hair in cornrows, and he's just he's delivering ice cream. He's putting whipped cream and chocolate all over the girls and licking it off, and just putting it all over himself, and dancing all over him, and it was just everything. I loved it. Then we go to Matt Bromer, who does How Does It Feel? I was losing my mind on this whole movie, but this part right here was definitely one of my favorites. He did D'Angelo, How Does It Feel? He could sing to it. He literally showed his whole ass. He showed his thong, and oh my God, I just couldn't believe it. He had all the women going crazy. He's not even a straight man, but he had the women going crazy. I didn't even know he could sing like that. But anyway, that was definitely one of my favorite moments. And then, oh my God. And then Joe Manganiello comes out, and he's wearing this suit, this tux, I guess, whatever, like he's about to propose. And then they got the black guy who's singing while he's going, down the aisle looking for a girl. He picks this girl, and he brings her up, and they put a bridal cap on her, and he brings her up, puts this big rock on her finger, and then he's just doing the marriage proposal. And then he gets wild. He takes off his jacket, then his shirt, then his tie, then he flips over and takes the rest off, and then he puts her on this I don't even know what to call, like an S&M thing. I think this is the thing where he broke his arm or whatever, but he put her on that, tied her up. Then he got on top of it and started gyrating near her crotch, like he was literally having sex with her on the stage. It was just too much for me. I just started screaming, and then he just continued to jump up and down and up and down, just oh my God, like near her crotch, where you could tell that he was just like having sex with her on the stage. It was just too much. I could not. I was screaming and screaming and screaming. Then he jumped off of the thing and just, oh my God, just started growling and humping the floor. And then that was it. And oh my God, people in the theater started clapping. I was one of them. I was just like, oh my God, it was everything. And then Channing Tatum, that girl that he liked, he pulled her up there, and oh my God, he literally had sex with her on the stage. It was, oh my goodness, the things he did to her. Oh my God, I can't even really explain it. He just grinded on her, like in every position, flipped her upside down in a chair. I mean, him and the black guy, they did like a mirror thing where he was on one side, the other guy was on the other side, and they were just doing the same routine. Like, oh my God, it was just everything. And then they were switching back and forth, taking turns, and it was just too deep for me. I could not believe it. He was literally having sex with her on the stage. Oh my goodness. And she was like, oh my God, I don't know how to like take this. She was just trying to control herself, but it was just too much. I mean, if it was me, I probably would have, my heart, I would have been, I would have just tried to be calm, because I would have almost had a heart attack. This whole movie was everything. And then after that, they go where they, kind of just show them going around the city, you know, just looking around, just trying to relax after that hell of a performance. And that was it.